Hi guys, this is Michelle here from Umove, and today I'm gonna give you a routine that you can do to get your squat better in 6 simple steps. Yes, I think it's 6 simple steps. Let's get started. Okay, now let's try to understand the squat better first before we go into the exercises. To go into a deep squat, you actually need 3 big joints for you to get into a really deep squat. So the first joint will be, as you can see here, will be my ankle, then my knee, and my hips. So these are the 3 major joints that will contribute to getting your squat deep, stable, and then more balanced. Otherwise, if one joint will be a little bit more or a little bit tighter, then your squat will be more tiring, or it will be a little bit off balance, like you're gonna fall backwards. So now if you look closely here, this is my squat. Okay, it could be different for you, it could be different for everyone else, but let's just look at this squat here. I can squat pretty deep and comfortable. So if you look at my hip joint, it is compressed at this level. So let's say we can agree that in order for me to squat at this level, I need to close my hip at this range, right? So that's number 1. Then the second part will be my knee. So in order for me to squat this deep, my knee has to have this compression range. And then the last part will be my ankle, which is it has to be at this angle so that I will achieve balance on my squat. So what we will do now is we will check these joints one at a time, so at least you will know which joint is compromising your squat, and then we can target on that joint as we go along with the exercises. Okay, so the first thing we will check will be your hip. So you have already that idea in mind on how deep I need to get my hips to close up in order to go into a squat position. So it was somewhere like this. So if I can achieve this position with my hips, that means my left hip here is good enough to go into a squat. So if you can actually get your thigh close to your chest like this, that means you have more than enough hip flexibility to go into a squat position. The second part will be your knee. So we will just check your knee. So a simple way is you just place your foot down onto the floor, and then just scoot your buttocks until it can go to close to your heel. So if you can get into this position or even a little bit further, that should be enough for you to go into a good squatting depth. So now if you have enough flexibility on your knees and hips, that will lead us to the conclusion that it will be your ankle that is the limiting factor, or both of your ankles will be the limiting factor of your squat. So now that we know that it's your ankles that are responsible for your squatting depth, let's just try to understand deeper here. So if you look at my squat again, this will be an ideal squat position. So if my ankle cannot close at this range, let's just say it's not so flexible, so I can only go up to this. Now can you see I will end up with my back rounding forward, and then I have to raise my arms forward as well here in order for me to achieve balance into my squat. If I actually remove my hand here, I will fall backwards. So this is the essential part in order for us to get into our squatting range, or into a deep squatting range. Okay, let's start with a stretch here, which is actually the only stretch that we will do for this whole video. The only difference is I will give you different variations of this stretch, just in case if it's not possible for you to do one version, and then we will modify it to be in another version. So the stretch will be targeted to this muscle here, which is a deeper muscle of our calf, and then we will just go into this position, which is literally we will close the angle between our foot and our shin bone, and then just like this, right? So you just go forward and backwards, and forward and backwards, and then you will just do this one 10 times. This will be our main repetition, so you just start with 10 times. Of course, you can do more as you get better, but start with 10. Then on the 10th rep, we will just hold it for 10 seconds. As simple as that. If you do 15 reps, then you hold for 15 seconds. Now, the only thing here is if you're not flexible with this hip, this might be a little bit too uncomfortable for your other knee. So then don't worry, I will modify it for you. But just take a closer look first. Make sure that you really go forward here. I want to bring my knee really in front, but not lifting my heel off the floor, and then I go back. Yeah, so this is what will happen to all the stretch variation that I will give you later. And then again, you hold it for 10 counts, and then I'll just show you with the other side so you will have a better idea how it looks on the other angle. So I will just go front and back, and then really try to put my weight here onto my knee so I can really stretch that tendon there. And then just go back and forth and let it get the stretch on that very stubborn tendon. So now if it's too hard for you to get into that stretch on the floor, we will try to modify it by going into an elevated surface, which is in this case right now we will just go into a bench. So it's exactly the same thing. The only difference here is that the other knee will not be pressed onto the floor, so it will be a lot comfortable for you to go into the stretch, and then you can only focus, or you can just focus more onto this stretch ankle. So exactly the same thing. You can go forward and backwards. The good thing if you are mounting onto a bench is that in case if you cannot really go too far forward because you're still very tight, you can actually grab the end of the bench and then pull yourself. So you can use your arm to just pull yourself forward, and then you can add that level of stretch to really load the ankle here. So in case if that stretch is still too hard for you, you'll just grab a towel and then just fold it thick enough. Okay, so just like this. And then the thicker the towel, the easier the stretch will be, or at least the more comfortable it will be for you to get started. It's gonna be just like this. So I will place this towel behind, and then I will place the heel over the towel. So what this do is that it will give me a little bit of a head start. So I'm leaning a little bit more forward, and then I can press my knee a little bit more so I can close the joint of my ankle here like this. Right? So that's the essence of the towel. And then as you progress by time, you can just unfold the towel to make it a little bit lower. The higher the towel, the easier it will be, and then when there's no towel, obviously it will be a lot harder again. So you will just do the same thing. Now, once you get better with this, let's just say you have already improved, and then it's a lot easier for you. You go back into the no towel version, still on the bench, and then instead of holding just forward, and then let's just say you're still on the 10 counts, 10 reps going forward, and then you do 10 counts to hold it. So instead of just holding it there, you can actually lift the leg, the other leg this way, and then hold that one for 10 counts. So you're no longer just holding the stretch, but actually you are loading your ankle here with your full body weight, because it is very essential for you to really load this foot with your whole body, because it is designed that way. If not, the stretch will be very light. You know that our foot is designed to carry our body weight, and then even more than that, if you jump on one leg, it can absorb multiple times the body weight. So in order to improve the flexibility of the strongest tendon in our body, we have to really load it more. So this is how you will do it. You just lean as far forward as you can. You need to lean forward in order to achieve balance, otherwise you will fall back. And then just lift this leg like this. It will be a little bit easier if you bring this one forward, if you have enough flexibility on your hamstrings. If not, you can watch my hamstring stretch video here. Okay, so assuming you can do this one, you can hold this one for around 30 seconds, no problem. Then we are ready to move on to the next layer of the exercise, which is still the same thing. It's gonna be just a simple stretch or a direct stretch on this tendon or in that ankle area there, which is just spending time on the squat position. Once you're a little bit more comfortable with your squat position, let's just say you can already hold it for around 30 seconds or 1 minute without feeling very tight and tired on your back, then you can slowly progress from here. The simple progression would be just to shift side to side. So it will just look like this. I will just shift my weight to one side and then to the other side. Just like so. But make sure when you shift the weight, if I shift to my right foot, my right heel has to be down. Don't forget that one. Your heel has to be flat all the time. And then you go to the other side, you again keep it down. And then if you really get better with it, then you can slowly put more weight onto that side. You know when you are putting enough weight there is because this other leg, you can already lift it off the floor. That means 100% of your body weight will be on one side. And then you just go to the other side and then again, lift that leg. So once you reach into this level where you can lift one leg comfortably and then find your balance easily, that means most likely you have already enough range to squat comfortably. Yeah, and then again, just spend time here. You can shift side to side and change a bit of direction. It will count once the angle will change because it will stretch the ankles a little bit different. And that's it. That's the end for our squat routine today. And if you like the content of this video, hit that thumbs up button for me so this video will be spread to more people. See you in the next video.